Hi, everybody. You know what time it is today. Okay. Took a long while. I have no idea why why anyone decided to air this at the end of July. But here we are, ladies and gents. Okay. Bleach! Thousand-Year Blood War, Season 4. Episode 1. God of Thunder. This was... I was laughing during this episode. I was like, are you really serious with this shit right now? Man. I will gotta give this a 10 out of 10 for animation this episode. Oh, tremendous. They actually have... We start off with like a sort of... Okay. For people who haven't read the manga, in the manga, Yuha, when he's sleeping, the whole bit is that when Yuha is sleeping, Hoshwell gets his powers. The Almighty. Now, during this instance of sleep, he sees a premonition. He has a dream. In the dream, which is a nightmare to him, Ichigo shows up with Zangetsu. Now, here's the problem I have with this whole spiel. That means anything that happens during the story is moot. Because they just basically stated, oh, Ichigo's getting... But that comes with the territory. Because the fact of the matter is, if you bring in a character, you bring in a villain that basically has precog abilities, and he has a dream like this, then, well, that's how the episode begins. And we see that Ichigo's coming after him with Zangetsu and hits of it. Now, this is a whole different can of worms that I don't want to get into right now. But then he kind of wakes up, kind of, and we see that black goo go on his face, and all these eyes show up. And he sees everything. He sees Ichigo coming to kill him. He sees Hoshwald's fight with Uryu. He sees Van Dek. That's the Stern Ritter who belongs in a JoJo. But he sees all these scenes. And then he sees, oh, what a wonderful feeling to wake up from a nightmare. And then, you know, he basically says a few things, and then we go back to present time. I believe when he has this dream, and before he wakes up, it's in the future. Hasn't happened yet. Because then we see Uryu, Ichigo, and Hoshwald. As I said it before, Hoshwald has Yuha's ability. He has the ability of Almighty at the moment. When Yuha is sleeping, Hoshwald gets it. So, Uryu tells Ichigo to get the hell out of here and go fight his Yuha and stuff. And the fight's amazing. We basically get 2 fights in one episode between Uryu and Hoshwald. We do get this crazy shot of a camera coming in, and we get to see every single instance of what's going on. We see Youruchi against Vander. Doc, that's the guy with the poisons. Then it pans, and it kind of pans over to the Valkyrie Sternritter, and we see the visors about to fight him. Then it pans over again to what I believe is where Basby got killed, and it goes into where, you know, Hoshwald and Uryu are fighting. The fight's amazing. The animation of this episode was freaking amazing. Unbelievable. We also get the whole details of the plan. What Yuha wants to do. He wants to destroy the three worlds. So goodbye to the world of the living. Goodbye to Wako Mundo, and goodbye to the Spirit Society, Spirit World, and create one world for the Quincy's. He's basically, I don't want to say it, but you get what I'm going with here. I mean, Quincy's are German. It doesn't take a genius to figure out the Quincy's are pretty much Nazis. I mean, at least that's how you got to look at it in a weird way. Now, I know they were frowned upon. I know the Soul Society killed them and blah, 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 blah. But let's be honest here. What he wants to do is no different than... But this explanation is told by Unyu, by Haschwald, while they're fighting. He stabs him a few times, but Uli was able to get out of it, and then he realizes at that point to say, okay, now I got more things on my list now. To defeat you and destroy Almighty, and to prevent this from happening. So that's what basically happened in Etches. Then we had a brief scene of the world of the living with Tessay and those two kids saying what's happening. And then we get Youruchi. This was funny in a lot of ways. We get Youruchi fighting Van Deck, and her brother's dying. And he infected. It's funny how he's like laying on the ground and he gets up. And he's infected her with a lot of poison. But she's still there. She's not dead. But then, when he gets close to her, out of nowhere, here comes Kisuke. Of course, I don't know what he did. He must have had a needle on him or something. He slaps Youruchi's ass. And then she like wakes up and they leave. He's like, oh. And Vaughn's like, and this guy, Van Deck, I can only imagine Kubo was just running out of ideas of what Stern Ritter should look like, this, that. And it's like, you know what? Let me just make one Stern Ritter look like he belongs in a JoJo anime. Because that's what the guy looks like. So they leave. We find out that he stabbed her with some kind of needle that's going to allow her to fight for 5 minutes. She was like paralyzed. And then the title screen comes up. It was a Bleach number 41. God of Thunder. And God of Thunder is written on her ass. So the battle resumes. And she doesn't want this form that Kisuke is insinuating she takes. So when it seems like she's fighting him and he punches her and she's out of it, he turns this page and automatically she transforms and she nails the shit out of Van Deck. Of course, it's only 5 minutes. So she beats the shit out of him, but at the end of it, she collapses because it's 5 minutes. And then Kisuke is like petting her. She was acting like a cat. Legitimately a cat. So he's petting her, and he walks up to see if he's dead. He's not. He creates another ball, because his whole thing is he creates these poison balls. He creates another ball, and that's where we're at, and that's where the episode ends. I know what happens here. More or less, we're going to get Kisuke's B word. You know my name, and you know this channel, so you know what I'm talking about. So that's where the episode ends. Overall, the animation was stellar. 100% stellar. It's good to see, we got at least 2 fights out of this episode. I'm really glad about that. We get some character moments also with Chad and Gondra. I don't want to go up on that whole thing. They're kind of fighting these statues, and it was kind of funny seeing them go. The opening and closing was really good. Really good. Kudos. Character moments like that. Um, Orihime obviously is glad that Ishida isn't bad. I mean, come on. And, we'll have Ichigo and everything in between. My beef with the 1,000-Year Blood War is this. I don't know if anyone else feels like this, saying this. And listen, it's Kubo's world. It's Kubo's world. He's entitled to do whatever he wants. But creating a villain like Yuha with the ability to see the future happens the story. But at the same time, that dream he had at the beginning of the episode, that does take presence in the story. Because it shows that it shows that Yuha lost, at least in his dream, to himself. Because it was Zangetsu he saw in this premonition that kills him, wielded by Ichigo. Now, I don't want to go into too many details of exactly how this is going to end, but there are things that are going to happen. Let's be honest here, it doesn't take a genius to figure this out. Knowing what Yuha is literally only one person who can basically enact his abilities. And he's sitting in a chair in prison. You know who I'm talking about. Maybe when he's revealed, I'll wear that shirt. But anyway, that's basically the whole spiel. So, rating-wise, I'm going to give this... Animation gets a 10 out of 10. The music gets a 10 out of 10. Story-wise, I'm going to push it a little bit back. This is going to get a 9.5 out of 10. Push it a little back. Now, the only thing I will say to Kubo and Period is this. Try to fill in the blanks, please. Try to fill in the blanks. Make it more coherent. Make it more detailed. Make it so that I don't have to be that upset the way the manga did. Even though, to some extent, I kind of understand why Kubo did that. I feel like... I think it does a disservice to the fans that Ichigo went through all this whole spiel. He did. He went through this whole spiel to get a new Zanbakuto, to get a new thing, new this. He's got 2 blades, blah, blah, blah. And he obviously has a banter. So we should see it used. Huh? Thank you. But overall, 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10 for this one. This is going to go long. Because it's airing at the end of July, my guess is final episode's going to be in October. Now, here's the thing. We got some heavy hitters coming up, people. Big heavy hitters coming up in October. The BC, Black Clover. And I didn't mention this, but Siren. Gonna do both. But that's for another story. This is Bankai 2. I'll see you guys later. Youruchi, and oh my god, that scene, Kisuke, it's like, he's like, you just want to give more fan service, don't you? To the point where it's up in our business. I'll see you guys later. Peace.